You can eat clean. You can jog every morning. You can take your statins exactly as prescribed. And you can still wake up one day with a heart attack. That's not rare. That's not unlucky. That's not mysterious. It happens every single day. Because arteries don't clog the way you've been told. We were sold a simple story. Cholesterol builds up like grease inside a pipe. It sticks. It narrows. It blocks. But your body is not plumbing. Your arteries are living tissue. They expand. They contract. They sense stress. They respond to damage. And the real problem doesn't begin with cholesterol. It begins with inflammation. The silent kind. The kind that doesn't hurt. The kind that doesn't show up on routine labs. The kind that quietly irritates the inner lining of your blood vessels for years. And by the time symptoms appear, the damage has already been building. Let me say something that might surprise you. A large percentage of people who suffer heart attacks were previously told their cholesterol was normal. So if cholesterol alone were the cause, how does that make sense? Here's where the story changes. Inside your arteries is a paper-thin layer of cells called the endothelium. This lining controls blood flow. It prevents clotting. It keeps vessels flexible and responsive. When it's healthy, your arteries glide open smoothly. When it's inflamed, everything shifts. Inflammation creates tiny injuries in that lining, microscopic cracks, subtle disruptions. And when those cracks appear, your body responds. It sends cholesterol to the scene, not randomly, not aggressively, but as part of a repair process. Think about firefighters. Every time there's a fire, firefighters show up. But no one blames the firefighters for starting the fire. They arrived because something was already burning. Cholesterol is often the same. When plaque is found in arteries, we assume cholesterol caused the damage. But what if cholesterol was responding to damage that was already there? Plaque doesn't form in pristine, healthy arteries. Damage comes first. Then repair attempts. Now here's where it gets serious. Heart attacks don't usually happen because arteries slowly clog like a sink drain. Most happen because a smaller, inflamed plaque becomes unstable, ruptures, and triggers a clot. It's not just blockage, it's instability. And instability is driven by inflammation. So what causes this damage in the first place? Multiple forces can contribute. Oxidized LDL particles, repeated insulin spikes, chronic stress hormones, poor sleep, smoking, inflammatory dietary patterns, gut-derived endotoxins leaking into circulation. This isn't about one villain. It's about a constant stream of stress signals hitting your vascular system. And here's what makes this dangerous. Your standard cholesterol panel doesn't measure arterial stability. It doesn't measure endothelial function. It doesn't measure inflammation directly. It gives you numbers, but it doesn't always show you the condition of the wall those numbers are interacting with. Let me tell you about someone who learned that the hard way. He did everything right. Low-fat diet, daily cardio, textbook cholesterol labs. Every doctor visit ended the same way. You're doing great. Until he decided to get a coronary calcium scan. His score came back 498. That's advanced arterial calcification, over 60% blockage, 0 symptoms, and perfect normal cholesterol numbers. When he saw the results, he didn't look scared. He looked confused. His only question was, how did this happen without anyone telling me? That question hits deeper than statistics ever will. Because this isn't about fear. It's about understanding what actually drives arterial damage. The goal isn't just lowering cholesterol numbers. The goal is restoring vascular function, calming inflammation, improving flexibility, stabilizing plaque, supporting the endothelium. This is where nutrition becomes powerful, not as a trend, not as a diet tribe, not as a belief system, but as signal therapy. Your body responds to signals. Signals of danger, signals of safety, signals of repair, signals of stress. Every meal sends one, and there is a specific combination of foods, backed by human data, that shifts your arteries from defense mode into repair mode. It doesn't unclog pipes. It improves biology. It restores signaling. It changes the environment inside your vessels. And when the environment changes, the trajectory changes. In the next segment, we're going to break down the first critical component of this repair strategy, nitric oxide production, and why vascular flexibility might matter more than you've ever realized. Because once you understand what actually keeps arteries young, the old cholesterol story starts to look incomplete. And that's when everything begins to make sense.